Pilots from Syracuse's 174th Fighter Wing keeping a watchful eye on the city that never sleeps. A city slowly waking up from a daze. F-16 fighter jets, these mammoth machines becoming a familiar and commanding sight above New York City.
We watched the events unfold on television, and immediately we knew things were going to be very different.
This mission would be like no other. Never had they trained for such a daunting task. The first to respond if a commercial airline was ordered to be shot down during a hijacking. They would press the button, firing missiles. This weighing heavily, especially on the mind of Lieutenant Colonel Kevin. That's because he's also a pilot for Delta Airlines. It's a mission that hits far too close to home.
We have relationships in the airline industry. We've got friends and coworkers. We also have a number of pilots here whose wives are flight attendants, and so you can imagine the predicament or the feelings that they would have.
In March, Action News got an in-depth look. Lieutenant Colonel Kevin gearing up. He puts on a gravity suit, a survival vest, along with a harness. At 5 a.m., he makes his way out to the fighter jet. It's time to inspect the beast before crawling into the cockpit. Then it's off, his right-hand man flying just a few feet away.
Ferrari of the fighters, or it's like you're flying on the end of a pencil.
I have the best job in the world, there's no doubt about that.
An hour after taking off, these guardians of the air fly above New York City. Now, a year later, although those flyovers have ended, the training has intensified, preparing for what may lie ahead in the foggy future. Ground Zero serving as a bleak reminder of why this mission began.
We're ready to do, again, whatever we're asked to do.
And sure enough, they're back at it again. The initial patrols ended sometime in the spring, but just last week, many of these pilots were called back into action, their missions being kept a top secret. However, it's likely in response to the heightened security surrounding this anniversary. Live tonight at the fairgrounds, Anthony Donato, Action News.
And today, hundreds of Fort Drum soldiers held their own memorial for those who died on September 11th. Many of the troops were among the first regular Army soldiers to take part in the war on terror in Afghanistan, the last of them returning home just last week. The 10th Mountain Division today saluting their civilian counterparts, the rescue crews that saved so many lives a year ago today.
The ceremonies in Clinton Square are just about to get started. Lauren, what's going on there tonight?
Well, Jackie, really something to see down here. The Syracuse University Brass Ensemble has just begun. Take a look at the crowds already starting to gather alongside the reflecting pool here now. If you can't make it here, though, be sure and step out your door at 6:45.